The initial thoughts were, at some point in time, with all the aftermarket triggers that you've seen on the market, somebody would have thought of this.
Open Juniors was also an all-U.S. affair, followed third by Shane Cody of the USA.
My dad instilled the discipline and the pride in me. He always told me that no one's ever going to give you anything, nothing in life is free. If it's something that you want, you have to go out and earn it, and you have to go out and take it. If I'm going to devote myself to something, then I want to be 100% committed. I don't want to give 50% to something and then look back and say, man, I could have done so much more. I always want to look back at either the end of a journey or the end of my career and say, that was all I had to give. My dad would never let me get into golf when I was a kid because a golf course is nothing but a waste of a good range. Sports is always something that I've really loved, and I don't really get to play baseball or anything like that anymore, so being able to find golf and it be something I can come out and just do all the time it's relaxing. In the grand scheme, I want to hit a golf ball 150 yards to hit the center of the green. Well, there's like 100 different things I have to do correctly to make that happen. Same thing with shooting. If I want to shoot 4-second El Pres, there's so many different things I have to do correctly to make that happen. And I feel like I can relate that mental training directly back to shooting and vice versa. And I can use golf as like my breakaway from the grind of training and the grind of work to go enjoy something with my friends and my family, but also relate that mental game right back to my everyday work, which I think that correlation is invaluable. Being a pro shooter, especially at the level of Glock, I have to know everything that I'm doing. I have to know everything about my training plans, my strategy, and then my equipment. Once I realized what all I need to do to really make this career successful, it was a complete analyzation of everything that I do, from equipment to training, detailed on what parts I was willing to use.
The firing pin back on the sear here instead of on the trigger bar itself. So when you're pulling the trigger back, it starts to drop.
When we were going through the development process, I had the legit privilege of working with Calvin Motley. Being able to work with a guy like that and then go to Timney and sit down with him and see what he's working on and how we're going to accomplish certain things that we were looking for, and being able to be a part of that process it was really an incredible experience. Calvin's a brilliant mind, and watching him take the things I say of what I'm looking for through feel, through reset, through reliability. And in my mind, I'm like, man, I don't know if we can do this. I don't know if this is going to be tough to accomplish. And Calvin's, his brain just works different, which is awesome. What's this? Put the trigger bar here on top of the new receiver and the trigger housing. Set that inside the gun. And the tools I like to use for this to make it pretty easy is the well-known Glock tool, and then any small flathead screwdriver. When I was able to get my hands on the triggers and actually put them in the gun and test them and put rounds through them and see how I was performing with them, I was blown away with how reliable the trigger is, because that's number one for me, is reliability. How simple the trigger was to install, and how I just installed the trigger in my gun and I got a trigger that's light years better than anything I've built. The initial thoughts were, why has no one thought about this? It seemed like such an easy design that, at some point in time, with all the aftermarket triggers that you've seen on the market, somebody would have thought of this. And I'm glad they didn't, because now I have this opportunity with Timney, and Timney is the first to market with this kind of trigger. And I really do believe it's a game changer. With the relationship that I've built with Timney and being able to be involved with them through the development process, and now have that pistol built that I believe is the gun that's gonna take me to a world championship, it's the gun, it's done. There's nothing else I wanna do to this gun. It's the perfect pistol that I want to compete with. And I've got world championship this year in November. We're gonna go to Thailand for the 2021 World Championship, and I have the gun now that I am 100% confident is going to perform to the highest level there.